Good evening and welcome to Inside the News. Happy New Month to you, and may this month of May, the month of my birth, bring you good tidings. A Reverend Father of Ekulobia Catholic Diocese, known for planting yams in large quantities, harvested first new yam of the year on 30th of April, and aside that, he planted another yam in the very space he harvested the yams from. Please do not be confused. Just sit back for the details coming shortly after the hard news. My name is Maureen Stone Enuchoke. Anambra Governor's wife, Mrs. Noye Soludo, has explained that the gift of fatherhood is one that should be won with pride and celebrated by everyone who has the privilege to share the blessings. Mrs. Soludo, who stated this in Oka in a message to celebrate Father's Day on the occasion of Catholic Feast of Father's Sunday, noted that fatherhood is privileged vocation, and such should be carried out with dedication and exceptionalism. According to the governor's wife, to be a father is to accept a solemn call of service, sacrifice, and dedication, as is mirrored by the life of St. Joseph the Worker, who pursued the call with exceptional commitment to companionship, ideal parenting, and diligence. She said that fathers also deserve to always be celebrated by both their spouses and children as a measure to repay their sacrifices and courage. The governor's wife also called for constant prayers for fathers, explaining that each father is faced with vast individual challenges that they can only deal with if the people around them show them love. While extending special prayers for all fathers, including her husband, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, and her father, Chief Chukwuma Ezenwanne, Mrs. Soludo maintained that just as with mothers, the world would not be complete with the vision, resilience, wisdom, and strength of fathers. Father's Sunday in the Catholic calendar is celebrated on first Sunday of May, commemorating the feast of St. Joseph the Worker, the patron saint of fathers. And it's a happy Father's Day to all fathers. Moving on, Anambra State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Afam Obidike, says that the state is second lowest in Nigeria with incidences of malaria. Dr. Obidike disclosed this while briefing the press in his office in Oka. ABS Health correspondent Chibuzo Okoye now reports.
According to the Health Commissioner, Anambra is second lowest with 5% prevalence rate after Lagos, which is the lowest with 3%, adding that the state is working tirelessly to be the lowest with malaria incidents in Nigeria. Dr. Obidike noted that under 5 deaths attributed to malaria has also reduced from 3.6 in 2022 to 0.96 in 2023. According to the District Health Information System report, he further explained that since Governor Chukwuma Soludo approved free antenatal and free delivering for pregnant women in the state last year, that they have had over 6,000 deliveries with as free albendazole amongst the drugs given to the women. On what the Soludo administration has done in the area of primary health care, the commissioner added that the government is building at least one fully equipped and functional primary health care center in all the 326 political wards in Anambra with solar-powered lights.
We have been able to ensure that we have infrastructural upgrade. First, we started with the basic 3 hospitals that we have upgraded now to the specialist level. We are making the healthcare accessible and also affordable, and also we are providing highest quality, standard quality you can think of, because if you go to our government hospital, you are certain of the services you are receiving and the personnel that will be attending to you.
Dr. Obidike pointed out that soon, the wife of the governor, Mrs. Noye Soludo, will launch woman papilloma virus drug for the prevention of cervical cancer, all geared towards having a state with sound health care system. The health commissioner equally made it clear that the Soludo administration also wants to build and design a better Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University Teaching Hospital that will be efficient both infrastructuring and in service delivery.
We're going to have our at least PACs, the world, 50% of them totally renovated, and also the water system also to ensure that they have running water in all the PACs. So if we do that, we found out that we have already bridged the gap on having a very structured way of having functionality in the primary healthcare to secondary care. We are certain, 100% certain, that the medications people are going to take in the state is going to be very safe and also at a very standard rate. So
Dr. Obidike revealed that Governor Soludo's government plans to build a very smart healthcare system that every Onyanambra will be proud of, and that will also compete favorably with healthcare system in developed countries of the state.
Anambra State Police Command has arrested 7 suspected cultists and armed robbers, recovered a cut-sized double-barrel gun, 1 tricycle without a reg number, and some hard drugs. In a release endorsed by PPRO, Espito Chukwikenga stated that the suspects include Chukwemeka Ozekwe, aged 18 years old, Chidozie Anago, aged 18, Chukwemeka Oyoka, aged 18, Ebuka Okoye, 17 years, Olisa Obi, 19 years, Chidubem Nwaku, 20, and Nwankwo Sochukwu, all males, while Makwanwosu, male, aka Baby, and 1 other person whose name is yet to be identified, are wanted. According to the release, police attached to Special Anti-Court Squad Sparks, while on patrol at Unizik Junction, intercepted all males and 5 occupants, including the driver of a tricycle operative. Operatives, in a bid to question them, the occupants took to their heels. Only Chukwemeka Ozekwe was arrested. Chukwemeka later led the police to their criminal den, where Chidozie Anago, aged 18, and Chukwemeka Oyoka, aged 18, were arrested, and the remaining 2 are still at large. Also, during the raid operation in the harbor, the operatives arrested Ebuka Okoye, 17 years, Olisa Obi, 19 years, Chidubem Nwankwo, 20 years, and Nwankwo Sochukwu. During interrogation, the suspects confessed to being members of the Viper Scout group, and they are one of the gangs terrorizing Awka Metropolis recently, and confessed that they were on a mission to rob the road users of their phones and personal belongings before the arrest. To this end, the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of Finance and Administration and Acting Commissioner of Police, DCP Fidelis Ogarabe, charged the operatives to sustain the tempo in the fight against crime in the state, and assured Anambra that the confidence reposed on the police and all the security agencies in the state shall not be taken for granted, and directs the suspects to be charged to court on the conclusion of the investigations. 10 inmates of Awka and Onitsha Correctional Centers have regained their freedom courtesy of a non-governmental organization, Abu Madabrochukwu Foundation. The bail bonds of the inmates, 5 each from Awka and Onitsha, were offset when the founder and chief executive officer of the NGO, Chief Christopher Atta, paid a visit to the centers in commemoration of his birthday celebration. Correspondent Emmanuel Chibata reports that the freed inmates were also empowered to start up their lives again.
The foundation also facilitated the issuance of international passports for 5 persons for travel by paying the cost for passports. Chief Atta visited the less privileged and priest welfare home in Awka. The foundation also donated food, toiletries, tissues, cash to the correctional centers and the less privileged. Speaking, Chief Atta said that he loves bringing smiles to the people's faces, which is the reason for celebrating with the less privileged. He further elaborated that the initiative was to provide the inmates a chance to rectify past mistakes and contribute to societal progress.
Today is my birthday, and it gives me joy when I help people that is in the need. I don't have any particular reason of doing it. It just is my hobby. It's just giving me joy. My advice is God will help them to change from their bad to good. And we human beings have to try our best. Maybe condition can make somebody to do what you don't want to do, but we'll try our best to put them in a better position where they can see food and eat and some other things.
On his part, Deputy Comptroller of Onitsha Correctional Center, Mr. Sunday Igwe, and his Awka counterpart, Mr. Solomon Oba, lauded Chief Atta's intervention as a rare achievement in the society and urged the public to collaborate with them, as some inmates have been there for years as they could not meet their bail terms. They advised the freed inmates to refrain from criminal activities and embrace positive lifestyles, advising those in custody to utilize skill acquisition programs to enhance their value and readiness for reintegration into society. In separate interviews, some freed inmates, Messrs. Onyebuchi Okonkwo, Echezon Okonkwo, and Onyekachi Okeke, expressed gratitude to Chief Attah for the gesture, pledging to embark on a new path in life.
I'm happiest one in the earth today. I just thank my God, pray to God to protect whoever that signed my bell. May God give him more courage, more life, more years to spend.
I feel so happy. I pray, may God keep him alive, give him more, anything that you have to God to give him. God will provide it for him.
I don't have gang. It's only that I go blame plank for the site that I want to follow work. Because my wife has a newborn baby, so they said that I stay the plank. So, but today, God has done it. I'm so happy. I'm very, very grateful.
The federal government has signed the Treaty on Conservation and Sustainable Use of Marine Biological Diversity of Areas Beyond National Jurisdictions, BBNJ, as part of its efforts towards marine conservation and sustainable use. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Ambassador Adamu Lamua, signed the agreement on behalf of the federal government at a ceremony held on Friday at the United Nations headquarters in New York. A statement signed by the spokesperson of the ministry, Ambassador Francisca Omoyuli, said the BBNJ agreement was adopted on June 19, 2023, during the Intergovernmental Conference on Marine Biodiversity of Areas Beyond National Jurisdiction under the United Nations. The agreement is aimed at addressing 4 crucial issues: marine genetic resources, including the fair and equitable sharing of benefits, measures such as area-based management tools, including marine protected areas, environmental impact assessments, and capacity building, and the transfer of marine technology. Nigeria is the 90th country to sign the treaty after playing an active role in the negotiations and the eventual adoption of the treaty. Its efforts towards ratifying it as soon as possible. According to the statement, the BBNJ agreement is open for signature by all states and regional economic integration organizations from 20th September 2023 to 20th September 2025 and will enter into force 120 days after the date of disposition of the 60th instrument of ratification, approval, acceptance, or accession. As of today, 4 countries have ratified the treaty, including Belize, Palau, Seychelles, and Chile, with Nigeria as the 90th on the list of the countries that have signed. We shall be taking a break. Once we are done, we'll be back with Insider News proper. Stay with us. Welcome to Insider News proper. When farmers are beginning to go back to farm for this year's farming season, a particular farmer is harvesting new yams for 2024 farming season. Reverend Father Philip Okoye, a renowned yam farmer from Ibuku and the parish priest of Holy Family Catholic Church, Akbo, both in Agwata local government area, introduced planting of new yams 2 times a year as he started harvesting his first set of new yams on the 30th of April. Ngosobulary of Insider News witnessed the harvesting of the first new yam of the year and now reports.
In previous years, Reverend Father Okoye cultivates yam in large quantities from January and harvests in July and August. But this year, he introduced a new timetable, which is planting in November of the previous year and harvest in April, then plant again in April to harvest in November this year. At the farm during the harvest, with the help of someone, Reverend Father Okoye harvested big tubers of yams as usual.
avoid what do you have? So, yes, idea. Believe gần như vậy. Rồi. Yes.
On how he was able to achieve it, he said he used Philoco method, where he used fowl droppings as the manure, which must be placed some yards away from where the yams were planted for a better yield.
I realized that it is very possible for one to produce yams from the same farm twice per year, and that's why I had to plant the first stage in November. Those are the ones I'm harvesting now after I call it 6 months. And now after harvesting, I sow another ones in the same spot, call it pit, call it mound, the same place. And those ones I'm sowing now will be harvested in November or thereabout. So making it twice per year. Well, I devised a special method. Yeah, if you look around, you can see for yourselves. It's a Philoco method, the Philoco method of yam production. That's the method. Because I realized that yam roots usually make horizontal movements, so they don't get deep into the soil. Instead, they go sideways. And that's when I began to think of using this method, whereby the yam planted here with the roots moving in a lateral direction or horizontal direction, they can even reach to that, travel up to about 4 meters. And of course, as they travel, they have access to the soil nutrients and all that. And that makes the production of tendrils and healthy leaves possible. Of course, when you have healthy leaves, the rate of photosynthesis is higher. That impacts on the produce itself.
Reverend Father Okoye added that he used irrigation system to achieve the desired result.
I bought water from the tankers, these people that sell the water, and applied once in December, twice in January, twice in February, and then thrice in March. And that was it.
While harping on the need for government to equip farmers to engage in all year-round farming system, Father Okoye said it will not only ensure food sufficiency, but to promote exports, as according to him, there is enough manpower to drive the move.
The government has a lot of role to play towards motivating farmers in the first place, and then also mobilizing them, giving them maybe farm inputs or implements, and to realize this production of yams twice per year, the government also has to think about providing irrigation scheme for farmers. So it boils down to the government being interested in food production. When maybe our governor is trying, but I believe a lot still needs to be done in that direction. See, it's something that is very simple. The government could help farmers realize. Fund, if that is possible, but if they make the environment or provide the condition, some of them can provide themselves with little yam seedlings they can plant. There is a city called Socorro. In that city, the rain falls only about 5 times a year. There are farmers there, and these farmers are able to produce enough food for the entire city. It's because the government is involved. The government provides irrigation scheme for them to carry on. So that's the kind of thing the government can do. Well, organizing competitions, sponsoring the competitions is also part of it. If our government is able to do that much, I think we'll be able to feed ourselves in the first place, and even have enough for export. We have the manpower, we have the resources. It's about utilizing them.
Insider News also gathered that Father Okoye's Filoko method of farming has trickled down parts of the community, as he has been training a lot of youths and adults on how best to get better yields.
The first thing I do wherever I find myself is gathering people, especially the younger ones, teaching them, showing them what I do. Because at first there is always a marvel when they see the yam, the produce. Most of them marvel, thinking that it's something that is produced in the moon. But when I bring them closer, get them and I begin to teach them, show them, even by practice, like the altar servers and even the adults. I gather them and teach them. Now, in this community, a good number of them are already doing it and are getting similar results. In fact, the person that took the first position last time in this community, it was one of the people I schooled into it. And he is now planning to go for the local government competition. Yeah, yesterday he was telling me that he will go and register because our local government announced that they would do the yam competition this year for the first time. Okay. So he's going, and I'm sure he will win.
Are you not going to register?
Well, my going there will just be to grab the money, the prize, and come back. But sometimes I decide to allow the people to go. It's a way of encouraging them too. I did it, but I do. After coming first for 3 consecutive years, I decided to step aside. The person I thought I eventually went and won, and he was happy that he came first. He began to answer DG.
Also worthy of note is the fact that the yams, no matter how plenty, would be shared among the less privileged members of his parish and the community in general.
It can now be seen that it is possible to plant yams twice a year, that is having harvest 2 times in a year. And with this, there will be surplus food for people and the populace. It is now left for the farmers to start, show the interest, make the first step that you are interested in doing it. Then government on its part has a lot to do to make this work. From Akpo, I am Ngozi Obileri for ABS Insider News.
And that does it on Insider News for tonight. Thank you so very much for watching. Next week, Sunday, is at another time. My name is Maureen Stone Enijoke. Good night and stay blessed.